today I'm presenting all the results I've been getting through doing my second 12-week year. If you have never heard about the 12-week year, it is a system to reach goals by having them in like 12-week containers. You usually have like 1 to 3 goals, and then you create 5 to 7 strategies per goal, and then you really work on hitting these action items every week. You try to reach a weekly score of like 85%, and in addition, this goal system, it is a business goal system, so it's also more like you're also blocking time for reaching your goal in your calendar. You have lead and lag indicators to kind of like look at your progress. All of these things I haven't done because I have changed the 12-week year because I'm not kind of like reaching a goal that has a lot of action items. I try to reach goals by changing my behavior and developing new habits, and they work a bit different. That's why I don't apply all parts of the 12-week year, and I just kind of like modified it to that it works for me. I just watched my previous 12-week year results video. If you're interested in that, I will put it up in the cards and in the description box below. It was really interesting to see where I had been at that point and what I wanted to work on continuing this path, and now seeing where I'm now. And that is really fascinating also to see how I had already gained confidence in this method, but at the same time also was a bit, I probably was a bit disappointed because I had hoped that by adding like healthy habits, I would push out some unhealthy ones. And that didn't happen in the first one, and this time I decided I will tackle that. If you have been here for a while, you know that I have been struggling with overeating for quite some time. I have done several videos about it, have tried a lot of different methods, and I have to say where I am now is the first time where I feel like I'm really in control of my eating and really have little urges to overeat, and I have really little overeats in general now in the past weeks, and it's still very new for me, so we just have to see how it develops. But I'm really proud that it seems like I have found something that really works for me. That being said, if you struggle with overeating, it doesn't mean that it works for you, but maybe I give you some new ideas how to start it. So to stop myself from overeating, I have worked on several things, like eating breakfast at home instead of at work, which also meant I had to work on my bedtime routine because often I wasn't able to eat because I had to go to work. So I had to kind of like go to bed earlier and then wake up earlier, and then I could make myself breakfast. So it took a while to actually get there. I also had to work on changing my meals. Like I decided to try more like having 3 meals and bigger ones and no snacking in between. And I struggle a bit with like late night snacking. Sometimes I was hungry and then the chips was just so easy to eat instead of like making a sandwich. But there was also a lot of times where I just wanted to munch on something. And then like I would say like 4 weeks ago, one coach gave me the idea of like maybe just don't buy chips anymore, and that felt a bit scary in the beginning, but because I at the same time had worked a lot on learning to dismiss urges. When you feel this urge of you wanting to eat something, learning to just feel that and not reacting on it. I had already quite a lot of reps in at that point, I think around 70 or something, and I have to say it was really easy. I just didn't buy it anymore. I haven't had any cravings for chips. I haven't had any cravings for soda. For soda, I, for example, decided to start with, I didn't have a plan to stop drinking soda in this 12-week year. It was like a long-term goal, but I started with like having 3/4 soda and 1/4 water or sparkling water, and then I increased it to half and half. And at that point, like I thought actually going to then 3/4 and 1/4 soda to get there, but I didn't need to. There was a point where it just didn't taste good anymore, and I decided not to buy it anymore. And The same kind of happened with frozen pizza. That was my most risk food to overeat. I usually would have, like on Friday nights, I would have frozen pizza, soda, and some sweets. And that made me often overeat. Not in like in binge eating anymore, but like still definitely too much. And I stopped that around the time I went on vacation, because it was kind of like disrupted by my vacations and traveling. And I just didn't look back. I first had some like pizza baguettes as like an alternative, but I also saw I didn't put Fridays as like on a pedestal anymore. It was often when I left work on Fridays, it was just like, oh, you've been so good, you deserve a treat, and having a nice dinner. And I just kind of cut that out completely. I just eat kind of the normal things that I eat other days of week. One thing I definitely have done is to have dessert every day. I try not to have any kind of sweets for breakfast and lunch. But then for dinner, there's always dessert, like a chocolate cake. I made myself peanut butter cups that were really tasty but very rich, and that kind of like changed something. I also decided to use an intermittent fasting app, not for actually doing intermittent fasting, but more to trick my brain to understand that after dinner, we are done. There's no food after that. Have eaten enough. And kind of like giving myself and my brain this signal of now it's done. Kitchen is closed. Kind of like that. And I decided that obviously I can turn off the app when I'm really hungry, but because I'm eating enough for dinner, I'm usually never hungry in the like late night. So that has changed a lot. Obviously it doesn't work for every day, and it doesn't have to. If I go dinner with friends, or if we went to the cinema, obviously the time I started the intermittent fasting app started later. But it wasn't much about like getting all these hours in or having this eating window. That's not the thing I'm gonna use it for. I just want to kind of like give myself the signal. We had our 3 meals. I know you might want to have chocolate later. You can have it tomorrow. Let's talk a bit about my results I've got from doing the 12-week year. And the first one, obviously, that I've talked now the most about is that I've stopped overeating. Obviously, some meals I eat a bit more. I still have to figure out that. Maybe I think that will get a bit less over time. I do see sometimes I eat really fast, and these are kind of small things I can take with me for the next 12-week year. But overall, no chips, no soda, no frozen pizza. If I want a pizza, I will get a real one or make myself. And obviously I still have like a soda when I'm eating out, and I realize often I find them really too sweet, so I have to actually dilute them with water because they are too sweet, and that is a very interesting process. But with the chips, so far no desire for it. I have to say I'm so confused because I've never had that before. I never thought that it would be possible. And it's still quite new, so we just have to see how it's going. But very proud, very lovely that I've cut out so much processed food, and it feels so easy. So I had a goal of dismissing 100 urges to overeat, and I completed 110. That's when I bought myself this dress because it's so pretty, and I wanted to kind of like reward myself, not with food, but with something else, saying we did a really good job on that. In the beginning, it was really hard, and it got so much easier when the soda was gone, the chips were gone, and the frozen pizza were gone. After now, like obviously in the evening, I still have urges. Sometimes I have like 4 or 5 urges in one night, and I'm like, I know you want chocolate, I can have it tomorrow, it will be fine. And yeah, it is that easy now. In that whole thing, I actually also completed 2 of my yearly goals. One was to exercise for around, or move my body for 300 minutes per week. It was obviously easy now in the summertime. I've been walking to work, I've been working out, I've gone swimming and all of that, so that was quite easy. And I also reached my reading goal of reading 24 books, and I'm already at 28 now. So yeah, that's kind of like easy. And I think I will work on the other ones in the next 12-week year. When it comes to weight loss, it had been really tricky because first of all, I have to say I had gained like 2 kilograms from the first 12-week year. I was really like in denial for that. I had gained. And when I started my second 12-week year, I decided from weighing myself once a month to weigh myself weekly. I don't think that worked really well. Like I did that, but I still experienced a lot of like mind drama. And the good thing was that first of all, I gained weight. I can show you my graph. I gained weight while I'm on vacation, which is totally normal. And then you can see how it slowly went down. But until last week, I hadn't even reached the same weight as I started out. And that was so frustrating. And especially for weeks, nothing changed. And thankfully, I looked more into body fat and realizing we're losing. Like I did measurements and I could see, oh, you're actually losing. I've lost like 4 centimeters around the chest, 5 centimeters around the waist, 6 centimeters around the stomach, just 1 centimeter around the hips and 1 centimeter around the thighs. So it looks like at the moment I'm losing mostly body fat around here on my upper body and less on my lower body, so that will take a bit longer probably. And as you can see in this graph, I've only lost like 0.8 kilograms during the whole 12 weeks, but I've lost 2.8% of my body weight. And that was so fascinating, and that's something I didn't realize until I kind of like calculated and looked at that. That I was losing weight even if the scale didn't show it. And that's also something I want to work on the next 12-week year. I haven't really decided what to do, but I feel like I'm still using the scale to decide if I make progress, and the scale is just such a unreliable tool for that. So yeah, I do think I have to change that. In total, I performed 668 healthy habits during this period. It's amazing. Like I have done so much, and it was so much easier because I had already like a lot of the experience of the first 12-week year under my belt, and also learned that, for example, starting smaller, I decided, for example, to say I'm gonna eat breakfast at home 4 times a week in the beginning, just to practice that. And then in the end, it was always more than that. The past weeks, it was no problem to have everyday eating at home. It's just such a normal thing now, and it just takes time, and you have to get like the reps in. And at one point, you will see results. I've also finished my self-care jar. I've already started second round. I had over 300 self-care actions that I had performed, like going to bed early, doing the laundry, using lotion, all kind of these things. I've also completed 18 workouts with Tone It Up, which I really enjoyed working out with them at the beach. I've been traveling like for 3 weeks of the 12 weeks, so I guess it's around 2. On average, I did 2 workouts per week. During vacation, I tried out the plate method, where you have like 1/4 of grains or carbohydrates, and then 1/4 with protein, and then half with vegetables. And that worked really well for me to have this kind of like setup when I had food in a buffet style, and then on top of that having like a dessert. I think that worked really well. I think I gained like 0.6 kilograms during my vacation, and I think that's pretty good, and showed me that this is a method that feels not too restrictive. It works really well when you have a buffet style and you can choose your food and you don't have to count anything, or you just can enjoy your vacation. I also found a podcast and a coaching membership that I really enjoy. It's called Balance 365. They are very into behavior change, healthy habits. You can be there with like a fat loss goal, or we just wanted to change your lifestyle, having like healthier lifestyle. And I really like the founders of this company, and I'm really looking forward to join them in August. Yeah, I'm gonna join them in the end of August. Because I've been journaling in the morning now and check in with myself every day, I've also kind of collected what kind of feelings I've had during these 12 weeks. And my top 10 of feelings were happy, rested, tired, calm, loved, motivated, proud, accomplished, successful, and inspired. And except for tired, these are all very positive ones. Really happy that I can see that I did feel really well. Especially I had a really rough fall last year, and now seeing how I feel so much better makes me really happy. Yeah. One thing that is a bit more tricky to measure is body image. I saw in my previous 12-week year results video that I struggled a lot with that, especially now. At that time, spring was around the corner, and I do see, especially my vacation in Croatia has helped me a lot. I do feel so much more comfortable in my body. Yeah, and I'm really kind to myself, and I think that will just continue being that way. Let's just briefly talk about what has worked in this 12-week year. And I definitely see the Strides app that I used for collecting all my data for habits didn't work out as well, although they're a very flexible app. I just love my habit tracker better, so I switched to that, I think in week 8 or 9. Something I really loved were using future me letters. I just got one today from when I started my 12-week year, and I love them so much. I definitely want to use them again. Especially I think I should have one for like week 4 to 7. That's where I usually get in a slump, where it's a bit more tricky to navigate the 12-week year and you feel a bit more like you want to give up. And I thought that would be a good idea to write myself a letter, especially for that time. Something that has worked really well is this goals planner. It's from Erin Condren. It's a goals planner that has 6 goals, and it's just perfect for doing 12-week years in there, because you have like 16 weekly check-ins, so you could kind of like make 12 weeks and then for every month, for example. And yeah, it's absolutely lovely. I especially like the end when you're celebrating your goal. This has worked really well. My journal has worked really well. I wish I had a bit bigger journal, but otherwise I'm really happy with that. I can see now that it's more important to take measurements than doing this, like checking on the scale. And for this overeating part, for me it has helped so much to stop the buying actually any kind of like high processed foods. I still have some obviously, but have reduced tremendously, and I did it with small steps. I didn't do it right away, because I think if I just cut out everything, it wouldn't have worked at all. Last thing, what didn't work, definitely the Strides app and some of the habits. I tried one habit of like watching only one YouTube video when I'm coming home, and I realized that I really had to do something else instead of watching YouTube to regulate my nervous system. So I think it was a good idea to switch and do something else. And also here in my journal, I have like, there's one page or 2 pages that's called steps toward the goal, and you have like action steps that you can put in. And the problem is, if you work with habits, you don't have many action steps. So in the first 12-week year, I used it to track my weekly scores, kind of like this. This time I used it as a weight loss tracker. And I have to say, it doesn't give me any extra value because I'm tracking it somewhere else already. So it doesn't really, I'm not really sure what I could use it for. So if you have some ideas, please let me know. Please comment what you would do with these action steps pages. Okay, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I see you very soon. And I can tell you a lot of travel vlogs coming your way very soon. See ya. Bye bye.